and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I wanted to do a more is more extra glam for spring and summer. Now I know this is the time of year where a lot of people are more interested in light dewy skin, a little bit of gloss on the lips, and like light lashes. And that's not me. I love full glam. I love like really taking it there. So for me, going in with lashes that touch my brows and a bold smoky lower lash line is really about as spring and summer as it gets. So if that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching. And please don't forget to subscribe because I do upload twice a week and that is the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off with a little of my Vitamin Enriched Face Base from Bobbi Brown. I'm taking that just on a flat foundation brush from Sonia Kashuk. I find with this and like really moisturizing primers, I prefer to go in with a brush as opposed to my fingers because my fingers just kind of suck up all that product, and this will help to kind of diffuse off any of that product. Then on that same brush, going into the Tatcha Silk Canvas, I'm just going to you go 1, 2, you get plenty on there, and I'm just going to start by dotting that all over the face, and then I will end up blending that out. So I don't like going right into foundation. I like to give it a little bit of time to get a little bit less tacky and just settle into the skin a bit. So I'm gonna go throw on a brow and prime my lids, and I'll be right back. Okay, so brows are on and eyes are primed. Today I'm gonna be going into the Huda Beauty Rose Gold Textured Palette, the original. I know that Huda just reformulated and re-released this palette, but I love the original and I really want to play with it. I understand why she's reformulating, and I understand that based on like the packaging compared to what she's doing now, this is a little less impressive, and I get that. So reformulating was a really smart business move, but like I love this palette, so I'm gonna play with it today. So I am actually trying out the P. Louise makeup base for my eyeshadow today, which I have never used before, and you're supposed to go right in with your pigments and not set it. So I did not set this. It is still a little tacky. I'm gonna start by going in with Bay, and I'm going to just take that onto the upper area close to the brow. That's gonna be my brow bone highlight. Then going into Sandalwood, I'm just going to start defining the crease. Then dipping into Shy, which is a little matchy-matchy with my shirt today, I'm just going to set that into the socket of the eye. Then on a super pointy brush, I'm going to go into Flamingo, the vibrant pink, and I'm going to put that directly into the crease, taking that into the inner corner. Next, taking Bossy, we're just going to deepen up the outer portion of the eye. And again, just blend out those edges. Then going into a little more of that pink, I'm just going to blend that back into the crease just to re-intensify it a little. Taking a little bit more of that base, I'm just going to lightly cut the very inner portion of the crease, like not even a half cut crease, like a quarter cut crease. And I'm gonna set that down with Rose Gold. Then on a small pencil brush, I'm gonna take Cocoa, the deep brown, and I'm just going to very gently intensify just that very outer portion of the eye. Now I'm just going to clean up any of that fallout before going to the rest of the face. I do love this palette, but some of these top shades do have a whole lot of fallout. Now just to intensify the top a little bit, I'm gonna go into the shade Angelic right up here, and I'm gonna take a little bit of that and just press it onto the center of the lid just to give you that little bit of pop in the middle. And I'm just gonna throw on a little bit of liner and some lashes, and I'll be right back. Okay, onto the face. Because this is a more is more extra for summer, like bronzy look, I'm gonna be going in with something a little more luminous than I normally do. And the combo I like to use when I do this is the Hourglass Mineral Vanish Stick and actually the Wet n Wild Cushion Foundation. So I'm going to start by taking the Hourglass, and anywhere where I have like a lot of either texture or discoloration, I'll add this in. And then I will go in with the Wet n Wild Cushion and blend all of that together. And then for a little bit more coverage, I'm gonna take some of the MAC Studio Fix Fluid. I like this because it is a little bit more buildable, whereas the other ones tend to be like pretty full coverage. But with this one, just concentrating it in the areas where I get really oily or want that extra coverage, which is basically the nose, the forehead, and the cheeks. This is just gonna give me a little bit extra protection throughout the day. For concealer today, I'm gonna take the Urban Decay Naked Weightless. This is in the shade Light Neutral. And again, when I want that like a little more bronzy, a little more glowy, and this is gonna be a very smoky eye look on the bottom, so I'm actually going to not take concealer all the way up. I'm really just gonna use this to brighten as opposed to concealing. And to set that down, it is a Cody Airspun kind of day. I do go through a lot of different powders, and depending on my mood, I will go through different ones. But this one is just like so tried and true and so perfect that I'm actually, not only am I gonna use this to bake the under eye, I'm actually going to take this and basically use this to set all of the foundation lightly as opposed to going in with a powder foundation. I know that this is already pretty full coverage, but I don't want to like really cake it on today because this is going to be more of a, definitely not natural. By no means do I think this is natural, but I would call this a little bit of a more medium coverage. And I'm just going to add a little bit of extra powder to bake. So for bronzer today, on an Aesthetica P12, I'm gonna go in with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I love this bronzer when I'm going for something a little bit more, for lack of a better word, bronzy, because it does have a little bit of like a luminous sheer to it. Now, I am very oily, so I like to go typically for more of a matte look. However, this bronzer just lends itself so well to giving you like a really nice bronzy glow, and it smells delicious. Then I'm gonna be taking the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in Light. It's a little more cool tone, and I'm gonna take that just to contour the sides of the nose. For contour today, because I didn't shave, this is again like a little bit more of like a natural everyday thing. I'm gonna be taking Inventor out of the PUR Sculptor Palette that I did get in this month's BoxyCharm. And I'm gonna take that on a very small brush, and I'm just gonna take that right into the hollow of the cheek where my facial hair kind of meets everything else, just to give myself a little bit more of a contour. And then going back into the Aesthetica brush, I'm just going to blend that out. Now for blush, when I'm going for this kind of a look, I really want to concentrate it up here. So I'm going to take the NARS Orgasm blush, and I'm just going to focus that just on the very high point of the contour, just to kind of warm up the skin and add a little bit more color, but I don't want to take that nearly as low as I normally would. And once that's blended out, whatever's left on my brush, I'm just going to dot around the nose This is just gonna give you that naturally sun-kissed look because this is where that redness would normally go if you spent a little too much time outside. Not that I ever do. So to finish up the eyes, going back into the pencil brush, I'm gonna go and take Sandalwood and just run that on the lower lash line. Then I'm gonna take the Makeup Geek Full Spectrum Liner in Obsidian and throw a little black on the waterline. Then taking a little bit of Cocoa right here, I'm going to gently smoke that out. Then taking a little bit of the black shade, which is Black Truffle, I'm going to take that just on the very inner portion of that lower lash line. I'm sorry, the outer portion, just because I really want to intensify that black and make it a little bit less top heavy. Now I am going to skip lower lash mascara because honestly, you're not gonna be able to see it anyway with how smoky we went on the lower lash line. Instead, I'm going to go to highlight. So I'm gonna start by highlighting the brow bone with Moon Dust right here. Then I'm gonna take Angelic on the inner corner. This is that same shade we put in the center of the lid. Then back into that pencil brush, I'm just going to blend that black a little bit towards that highlight. So because we wanna be really glowy, but we do wanna keep this like very bronzy, sultry look, I'm gonna start with the Maybelline Master Chrome Highlighter, and I'm gonna take that on the high points of the cheek. Now, I know I say this all the time in every video, you can totally stop there with the highlighter, but obviously I'm not going to. I'm gonna go into the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder. This one is Conceited, which I only use this one in the deep summer or when I'm highlighting Brandon because it is so bronze, but I am gonna focus that just over the cheeks. I'm not taking that on the rest of the face because it is pretty intense, and I do want this to be a little bit more of like a glowy, dewy. Then I'm gonna take a little bit of the Morphe Prep and Set, and I'm gonna set the face. And I'm gonna follow that up with a little bit of the Cover FX Illuminating Setting Spray, just really on the sides of the face. I get so oily in the T-zone that I don't want any of that shimmer here. I'll make enough of that on my own, but I do wanna add just a little bit more of that dewy glow to the sides. Now, depending on how glam you wanna go, you can line your lips, you can throw on a lipstick and then a gloss, or you can just do a gloss. For me, I'm gonna kind of meet in the middle and I'm going to line it and then use a gloss. So I'm gonna start with the NYX Matte Suede Lip Crayon. This is in the shade Sandstorm, and I'm just going to line the lips a little bit. So now that the lips are lined, I'm gonna be going into the Hank & Henry Beauty Lip Luster. This is in the shade Side Chick, which is a really pretty like cranberry glitter gold bronze. Like that was literally like 19 things, but like you'll see. And basically, because it has that pink shift and that gold shift, it is gonna match the eyes perfectly. Normally I don't go for such a matchy look. However, like this time of year where everything is just bronze and glowy, a little bit of pink goes a long way. And that's the finished look. So this is my More is More Extra Glam for summer. It is bronzy, it is glowy, it is smoky. It is literally like everything for a night out after summer. I know everyone likes to go fresh-faced for summer and people lighten up on their coverage, but that's not me. Full glam all the time. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.